Hey guys, it's Dana and it's Tuesday, so it's time to talk about money. And today I wanted to talk about the strangest secret. I have a new habit every morning, which I'm so glad it's now a habit. Every morning I've been getting up at 5 a.m. and I go out in the morning and I try to do a jog. I'm not gonna really say it's a full jog, but I kind of walk for an hour. I try to do an hour, maybe 45 minutes. But anyway, when I walk, I'm listening to a recording by Earl Nightingale. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called The Strangest Secret. I've heard this before years ago. If you haven't heard of it, Earl Nightingale was a salesman. He had a team of salesmen in 1957 or 58, I believe, is when he recorded a 30-minute recording for his sales team talking all about the strangest secret, which is the secret to success. And I find his voice to be soothing. It's like morning meditation almost, listening to him in the morning. And almost every day I listen to him for the 30 minutes and I listen to something else, music or something. But it's really encouraging. So that's why I wanted to share it with you guys. I find it to be encouraging. If you are trying to get out of debt, and you're working really hard and you are really driven, you're settled on your goal, you have your purpose, you're working towards it, but it feels as if it's taking a really long time, I highly recommend listening to this. You can go onto YouTube and you can listen to it there. If you just search for The Strangest Secret, you'll find somewhere a recording of it. I heard it actually, I have the recording on my podcast, on a podcast, Brian Buffini's podcast. He has the full recording on one of his episodes. So I have that saved on my podcast app on my phone. So I can just replay it and listen to it that way. So you don't need to purchase the actual recording if you want to find a way to listen to it free. However, it's very encouraging because he talks a lot about having a goal. And he talks about the difference between people who are successful and those who are not successful. And my favorite example in the whole recording is when he talks about two ships. And one ship has a crew on it and they have a place that they are going towards. They have a known destination, a captain behind the wheel driving the ship, and the ship will get there. And then the other ship, there's no crew, nobody behind the wheel. They just release the ship. And of course, you don't expect the ship to go anywhere, right? It's most likely never even going to get out of the harbor. It's just going to kind of float around and probably end up sunk, or it's just going to crash into something. It's not going to ever go anywhere because there's no goal. So he talks about having a goal. People who are successful have a goal, and how if you have a goal, how there's no way you're not going to hit it if you are focused on it, if you are thinking about it. Which leads to the strangest secret, the secret, I'll just, spoiler alert, we become what we think about. So whatever you are thinking about is what you will become. So if you are constantly thinking in your head, I will be debt-free, I'm going to be debt-free, that's going to come, you're focused on it, that's what you're thinking about. Not all the time, okay? I'm not saying you become psychotic with this. I'm just saying you're thinking about it, right? It's your goal, it's your purpose. But that's the secret, is that what we think about is what we become. If you're constantly thinking, I'm never going to pay off this debt, it's never going to happen, I'm always going to be broke, or if you're thinking, I am broke, we're poor, then it's not going to happen. So the secret is that your mind is like a field. Whatever you plant in it will grow. And if you're planting negative things in there, negative thoughts, then if you're planting good things, then good things are going to happen. So that's the whole thing as far as that goes. That's also, you've probably heard about that before, the law of attraction. Whatever you think about, you bring it towards you. But mostly I want to focus on the goal and how I think that this recording is really inspirational and might help you to encourage you to keep going and to have hope. And so maybe listen to it once a week if you're working towards getting out of debt. There's so many things in it that it just is uplifting, I find it to be, and to help to drive you to know that you will get there, right? Because I think that a lot of times when you're trying to get out of debt, you can lose hope and you can feel like giving up and you just don't want to do it anymore. And you feel like you're never going to get there. Everybody else is having, everyone else seems to have money except for you. You're never going to be able to build wealth, no matter what baby step you're on. If you're trying to build your emergency fund, whatever you're trying to achieve financially, because that's what I'm talking about on my channel, then, it might feel like you're never going to get there. So if you listen to this, it's a lot about how if you have that goal that you can't help but get there. You will get there. It's impossible to not get there if you are focused on it and you are thinking about it and you are taking the steps necessary to get there. Eventually, you will get there. The other thing that he talks about that I think is interesting is he talks in the very beginning of the recording about how most of us do not succeed because we conform. We conform, which I think it's so interesting. This is still relevant today than it was in 1958, or when was this? 1957. 1957, when this was recorded, he said a lot of us do not succeed because we conform, right? And so I just thought that was so interesting because I still find that to be true, how, if you are trying to be, keep up with the Joneses next door, a lot of times that's why many of us end up in debt or without wealth, because we're spending, and that's what the majority of us do, is spend, and we're conforming to what everyone else does. But then 95% of the population, according to, at that time, Earl Nightingale, is not a success. So if you want to be a success, you have to behave differently. Don't do what everyone else is doing. You have to be weird. He doesn't say weird. I'm saying weird. You have to be weird. Another really great takeaway is about how money is the result of success. So you have to become successful first in order to have money. So you don't get a lot of money and then you're a success. It doesn't work that way. You have to, he talks a lot about how you need to create, how you have to be of service, and to build that up and become a success, and then the money will follow. I think that's a really great lesson as well, about how really focusing on that is what's important, and then the money will come. But if you're focusing on the money and think I need to make all this money to become a success, that's actually the reverse. That's not how it works. So in your thinking, try to think about how you can create, how you can serve, and focus on that, and then, like I said, the money will come. Now, if I can bring up Dave Ramsey for just a second in this video, I like a lot how he talks about how you get into death by 1,000 cuts, right? So getting into debt is usually a little bit, right? A little bit here and there. Like, I'm going to buy this on my credit card. Oh, this isn't that much. We're just going to go on this little vacation. I'm going to go get this, $100, I don't know, whatever, that sweater. It's just one sweater, right? I don't know if I've ever bought a $100 sweater, but death by 1,000 cuts, meaning you get into debt, usually not in one big swoop. It's over time, usually over a 10-year period, 15-year period. You're just little things just add up. So he also talks about how you win the same way, right? So you win by 1,000 little cuts, or what would we call them? It's not cuts, I guess, because you're trying to heal, right? 1,000 little bandaids. There we go. So it's again, just slow and steady. The turtle always wins the race in the storybook, right? So slow and steady will get you there. You'll win by a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. So if you feel like you keep trying to save up your $1,000 emergency fund and then you keep having an emergency, bad things keep happening, keep doing smart things. If you keep doing the smart things, eventually you're going to get there. You're going to win. Eventually Murphy will leave and no longer come around. But it's almost like you have to persist through that, right? As if you're being tested. So just don't stop. Keep going. Keep going. All right, so I hope that this video has helped to inspire you to keep getting out of debt. If that's your current goal or whatever your financial goal is, keep at it, and listen to The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale if you haven't. It's about 30 minutes long. It's not that long, and I do think there's a lot of things in there that are of value. And listen to it again and again. That's what I'm doing. I'm listening to it every day, every single morning with the sunrise. And it just kind of helps to, it's been helping to center me. Obviously, eventually I'm going to need to take a break, maybe once a week, listen to it. But it's I don't know, I really encourage you to listen if you haven't. All right, so that's it. I'm here every single Tuesday, you guys, talking all about money. I live in the Philadelphia area. We are a family of 6. I am a corporate accountant, but I really enjoy doing these videos because it helps to inspire me to continue to reach our goals. And I hope that it helps to inspire you as well to become debt-free and to build wealth for your family so that you have choices. So you have choices. That's what it's all about. Okay? All right. Bye, guys.